This video will show you how to safely handle large doors, anything over 16 feet, in the unloading and installation process. This door is also being installed inside a fully finished area, so we will cover some key tips when installing in this environment, and to a drywall finished office. The manual contains an important safety checklist to help ensure your customer's door has been installed properly and in a safe manner. This video is only meant to help demonstrate the procedure described in the full installation and maintenance manual. It is not a substitute for it. We are not responsible for any charges incurred through missing parts, operation, or damage due to improperly installed door assemblies. Only trained door systems technicians should install or perform maintenance on doors. For electrical installations, only trained electrical technicians should perform these operations. In this video, we are filming a large regular service door. However, the preparation and handling steps for other large doors are the same. Gather your slings and carabiners and inspect all material to make sure there are no cuts or wear on them. It is important that you make sure you have the right equipment for unloading and installing a large door, and the equipment can support the weight of the door components. To find the weight of the different components, consult the shop documents. The weights of all major components are listed on the bottom. Although one forklift is most likely to have enough capacity to lift the curtain or the barrel, one forklift should never be used to lift the curtain from a single point in the middle. This can put too much pressure on the slats, which can bend and dent them, making the curtain unusable. Two forklifts should be used to spread the load over the length of the curtain, or more if the door is longer. Raise the forks so they are above the curtain. Take the slings and move them under the curtain and hang them on the forks. Secure with vice grips. Carefully and together, raise the curtain. Take off the truck and place it onto the cart or dolly you will use to move it into the building. If you only have one forklift at your facility, you can use a spreader bar to distribute the weight more evenly. Place it on top of the forks and take 4 slings. Spread them in equal distance apart and secure with the carabiners. Put vice grips on the ends of the forks, then lift to transport. As you unload the different pieces, check the condition of them for any freight damage, visible or concealed. If there is any freight damage or the delivery is incomplete, please follow the procedure outlined in the installation and maintenance manual in order to correctly address any issues. This is very important because if installation is made with damaged product, we are not responsible for any resulting replacement or labor costs. This installation is inside a finished office building, so the area must be protected. Obtain plywood strips and put these down, taping them together. Here, we also need to create a ramp to get inside the building. Move all the components into the building, taking care with the curtain to ensure the transition is as smooth as possible. We recommend before starting any work, completely rope off your work area with danger tape for your safety and the safety of those around you. Install the guides as described in the installation video series, Installation of the Guides. Take note, we will be drilling through sheetrock through to the steel tube. When drilling through sheetrock, ensure that you do not over-tighten the bolts and damage the finish around the door. Assemble the shaft as described in the installation video series, Shaft Setup. Since this is a large door, rings are not used. Instead, the curtain will be mounted directly to the barrel. To lift the shaft, we are using genies, sometimes called duck lifts. The capacity of each genie is 650 pounds, and the weight of the shaft is 1,141 pounds, requiring 2 to lift the shaft. However, we will use 3, as this helps spread the load more evenly. Place the shaft in position using the dollies and move the forks of the genies underneath the shaft. Secure the ends of the forks with vice grips. You can see that the 2 left-hand genies are close together. This is to support the extra weight of the counterbalance spring inside the barrel. Lift the shaft simultaneously, working all genies, taking care to ensure that it stays level. Also watch for any other indoor obstructions such as lights or other items mounted to the ceiling. Bolt the brackets to the guides, starting with the tension side. The brackets should be fastened to the inside of the guides. After the brackets are fastened, make sure that the shaft is centered between the brackets and lock down the set screws on the drive side bearing. Prepare and mount the operator as described in the installation video series, Mounting the Operator. The motor also has an additional cover bracket added, which is covered later in this video. If there is power to the door, you can connect the motor operator as described in the electrical video series, Installing and Wiring the Motor. Now you can test that everything is functioning properly. This is covered in the electrical video series, Test Run Cycle. We are using 3 genies to mount the curtain onto the shaft. Although 2 would take the weight, 3 will distribute it much more evenly and avoid damaging the slats. Move the curtain into position using the carts and position the genies underneath them. Secure the ends of the forks with vice grips. Raise the forks to take the weight of the curtain. Once the curtain is off the ground, cut the outer layer of cardboard off the curtain everywhere except where the forks are, so that there will still be a layer of protection between the curtain and the forks of the genie. Make sure you orientate the curtain so that the starter slats are on top. Raise the forks of all 3 genies, taking care to keep the curtain straight with the floor. Once again, make sure you will not hit any obstructions in the ceiling. Once the curtain is under the barrel and centered, sling the curtain using your nylon straps and carabiners. Sling setups should never be spread out more than 10 feet, so use as many setups as needed in order to properly sling the curtain. If they are too few, too much weight will be on the curtain and the slats will get dented and damaged. Roll the curtain and attach it to the barrel as described in the Installing the Curtain video of our service door installation video series. When rolling the curtain onto the barrel, since this is such a large door, be especially vigilant that the tension wheel is rotating freely. Once the curtain is rolled onto the barrel, the spring needs to be tensioned. To determine how many turns are required, look at your shop sheet. It indicates that the spring in this door needs to be tightened 1.39 turns. This tension wheel has 8 spokes. Since we make each turn 1 spoke at a time, and there are 8 spokes on the wheel, we will multiply 1.39 turns by 8, giving us 11.12 turns. Since we can't make a partial turn on a spoke, we will round this up and insert and rotate our winding bars 12 times. The tensioning procedure is described in detail in the installation video series, Tensioning the Spring. If you have power to the operator, you can set the limits of the door and control where the door stops. This is covered in the limit switch adjustment video of our electrical installation series. As a reminder, you will be mounting to sheetrock, so make sure you find a metal stud or similar backing for mounting. Make sure the brackets are equally spaced between the end brackets and flush with the top of them. Install each hood piece, top of hood, and the optional splice covers between the 2 hood pieces. If the top sags slightly, a chain can be fixed to the top and fixed to the wall or permanent structure. Because this door is inside an office environment, aesthetics are important. Covers and trim pieces have been ordered. The first piece will cover the adjuster wheel and has been specially ordered. It is fully formed and just needs to be mounted onto the bracket and secured. There is also a cover for the sprockets and chain on the operator side and for the motor. These will make the operator side look a lot cleaner. The thicker bracket with the holes should be attached to the motor bracket. This needs to be done before the motor is mounted up onto the door. Attach both brackets to the motor and secure. Mount the motor as you would normally, securing the motor bracket to the end plate. Tighten all bolts. Mount the cover over the large sprocket and the chain. Secure with screws. Take the pieces of the motor cover and assemble them together using the instructions. Place them over the operator, tucking the chain inside or through the access panel if you have one. Secure to the thick white end plate. To give the door a more aesthetic look, you may also have trim pieces, which can now be installed over the guides. The beautiful image on this door is a vinyl graphic, which is applied at the factory. This can be used in a number of applications, such as stadiums, concession stands, and branding opportunities. As a reminder, full installation instructions can be found on our Dealer Resource Center. If you have any questions on installation in the field, our support center can be reached at 1-800-233-8366.